Hello, mystics. Good morning. Hey, we're going to take on the language of the mystic. So, this is just going to give us some confirmation that we know we're on the right path. And even when we bump up against obstacles, we'll have some tools that we know that we are absorbing the language of the mystic and we are experiencing, and the world is still unfolding, and we're experiencing the mystery as it unfolds. So as we begin to take on this language of the mystic, just breathe in. First, feel your inner mystic so you can begin to absorb the language here. And also just know that if anything doesn't resonate with you today, just let it flow off. Just absorb what resonates and let that flow into the cosmic influence of your higher self. Beautiful. So welcome. I'm glad you joined me today. And so we know that we understand the language of the mystic through deep contemplation, study, and personal experience. Yeah, we are given a pathway to know ourselves as a human embodying our most infinite spirit. Yes, soul's intention is to become aware of our greatest gifts. The soul's intention is embodied in this lifetime, on this journey, in this human body, and in our human experiences. So we must root into this experience of life. And we have joined as one in this experience to hold the tension between opposites. So all this means is that we live in this world of dualism. And as spoken by many before us, they have showed us the way. So you can research this through masters, gurus, artists, or just a few, to name a few. So know that the world always, our life, the mystic always comes back to love. Always is the journey of love. But we do know the journey of love is not without obstacles on the path. The battle of good and evil, the hero's journey, is not without a battle that challenges to our very core. It stirs our core energy, our beliefs, and sometimes we have to make adjustments. So know that to stir this up is only to expand our old belief systems, to expand our understanding, our knowledge, our wisdom. And the challenge awakens us to shift in those old beliefs. And this challenge awakens and turns up the fire like a spark passionately with cause. So I want you to know it always comes with cause. And we seek truth. As we seek this truth, it's not always clear enough to draw blood into a battle of war, but we can return to the heart, and the heart is unleashed to respond in the truth of the battle. And know that the battle is tempered by the mystery. Yeah. So it means we're not going to go out and take our swords, our guns, and start the revolution from here, but we will start it. We will start it, but we will return to the heart, unleash the response of truth, and know that this battle will be tempered by the mystery. So there is no final outcome. It just will continue to unfold in the mystery. Each step, a new glimmer of hope, unveiling a world so narrowly evolving into patterns of this infinite wisdom. Like veils are lifted so we can absorb glimpses of dimensional realities with the awareness we are one, and we are part of galaxies, universes, consciousness, dimensions. A new world is being born and unspanding, and right before us. Mystics know this. They know this deep in their core. And as each expansion unfolds into another mystery upon another mystery. And the mystery has only just begun. So there is no end to the rise up of each mystery. So rise up and look and to receive your messages from your guides, your teachers, from all realms and all layers of kingdoms, from both heaven and earth. Yeah, and we're not limited to heaven and earth here, because there's a cosmic influence, a cosmic flow. So we know this expansion, this infinite space, belongs to everything that ever has been and ever will be. So the mystic understands the path, has lessons abound, and that our magic is sometimes miraculous and overflowing, and then our magic at times is shut down. We might feel alone. We might feel dull, disconnected from our gifts. So just know this is also a pattern of the mystic. It's called the yin and yang dualism. And so we know each side of the coin has great value. So stay diligent in your effort of this unfolding, because in the unfolding is a reward. Yeah. So each side of the coin, duality, yin yang, resides in the world within us. Wow. And so my teacher, Jacqueline Small, with her work with Eupsychio, would call this the arting ourselves. Arting ourselves, yeah. We are consciously cooperating in our own evolutionary process, becoming likened to the image of our higher self. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah. The archetypal realm and the human realm are meaning to bring us this higher awareness. So begin to know that you are so connected to these great archetypes, that they are just a reflection of who we are. So we know something is happening. We can feel this evolutionary process happening. We feel it, we know it, we have felt it along with others. So this awareness is heightening us to expand and to awaken. And as we do this effect is like a snowball or like a ripple in a pond, because once it touches other souls, you begin to express, other souls also begin to light up. And so it's so important for us to stay on this path and to stay and to be example, yeah, and to share our gifts and our wisdom and what we know. And knowing that as we do that, just stay connected to this shift and know the shift is an inside job. So we're not always looking externally when we meet some of these obstacles, but we must turn back in. The mystic knows this to be true. As the mystic, we have this foundation to become with ourselves, to know ourselves. So we know this is the foundation to the shift. We know this is the foundation to unveiling the mystery. So become aware of the higher self, know the soul's intention, and move with passion, because it stirs up not only our lives, but it can stir up other lives too, so we can begin to really create this evolutionary pattern of the human and the divine. It can be very messy, so know that we are messy sometimes in this work. So be very forgiving and self-loving and self-compassionate to the self. Be accepting of who you are and where you are on the path. We are given direction, but the path is not always lit. It can become dark, unraveling, and shadowy. Yeah. So we must be able to learn to face with our worn-out belief systems, religions, institutions, and with intent to keep us in line, this make us small, and know that this is conformity. So I want you to look into your life and begin to ask, where am I conforming, and where am I repressing my gifts? Where am I not integrating my higher self? So those are questions you can begin to ask yourself, so we can begin to look into conformity and conditioning. The mind is easily convinced of the simple minding of the established law, cultural families, generation customs that gives us this false sense of safety and belonging. So not all is failure in these institutions of family and culture. So if you want to become the judge of that, it always comes back to love. It comes to love. We are protected from deceit through love. So remember, love is truth. Love is the highest vibration of this planet. So also we want to take time to begin to really embrace the higher self. The language of the mystic loves the symbolic world, synchronicities, communication. And so just begin to understand the language of the mystic. We take all these realms into our understanding. So another thing that I would really want you to ask yourself is to get to know your higher self. What does that mean? So take some time, like to maybe write it down or really identify the characteristics and qualities of the higher self and how you can begin to be more integrated with the ego and the higher self, or the human and the divine, so that you can begin to feel more balanced in this world of duality. So know the language of the mystic. So we must begin to know our own power, our inner power. And so sometimes if you're feeling less than powerful, maybe not worthy of power, not worthy of love, then this is a good time to turn into the and diving a little bit deeper into contemplation of your higher self and the presence of your higher self. So we know our power through the journey of the inner presence of our higher self. That's how we begin to anchor in this power, by knowing our higher self. Great stuff. I know it feels a little bit to know the higher self, it's a little bit maybe abstract, like it's kind of hard to grip. So it's going to be it's a personal journey for yourself, but it can be so amazing. So continue to do the work of the higher self and that inner work. And so we know the world of dualism, and we seek inner integration and transformation. We know life as a mystic can be kind of messy, so we have to face our fears and the unknown, and of course our own shadowy aspects. Sometimes this is known as, can also be known as the hero's journey. We recognize and awaken to a new world, and the battle is not compromise, but one with this new world of love, unity, never ending, and it's never ending. So we're not going to get to the end of the road and say, oh my God, I made it, we're done. Yes, there are relaxing times, but we are always unfolding into this infinite cosmic influence. We're always facing our evolutionary success by one foot in front of the other, facing the future, facing all aspects of the self. So I know I had a dream one time that, and it was right after I had processed something really deep in my childhood, and I think it was a near-death experience I had, and maybe why I felt about God the way I felt about God, being pushed back into a sick body as a child. It didn't seem like God maybe loved me, as from a child's view and perspective. And I finally got to see that might be why I was always questioning God and not maybe feeling lovable. And so I could see it from this higher perspective. And I felt like, oh my God, my whole life I've made it, I can now accept love, and I know I'm lovable, and I know God loves me, and I love God, and you feel like, whoo, success, celebration, which I did all of that. But the dream then showed me that it showed me, like, I think in the dream I was a sheep, and I wanted to jump the fence. And so I saw this fence, like a split rail fence in a pasture, and I finally made it to the fence, and I jumped to the other side, and I'm like, oh my God, I made it. The sheep made it to the other side. And then I looked out into the future and to what was in front of me, and there was pasture, fence, pasture, fence, pasture, fence, unending pasture, fence, pasture, fence. So I know that this, that as a mystic, we know that it holds the mystery. So even when we make these leaps and bounds to the other side, they're continually and infinitely unfolding of this worlds upon worlds. And so that is a gift as a mystic we understand. So just knowing that, even though enjoying the process, enjoying each step, enjoying each celebration, enjoying each part of the human journey, and awakening to this new world, and not compromising yourself through it, but really beginning to unfold into the journey of love. And know that our evolutionary success depends on an open and free expression, not hidden in a world of conformity to ease our fear, but a courageous roar to know our voice, our expression our voice and our expression is a piece of that puzzle that unites and the trajectory of all evolution. So we have to know that we are fragment piece of who we are as a human being fits. We all fit together as one. And when we can begin to express uniquely and authentically, we become a piece. We begin to join those pieces. And that's when we will feel the evolutionary shift as humanity will shift. And I have some ideas of what that might be, and I'm sure that you do too. So just keep lighting those possibilities of what that might be when we all come together as one. So this mystery, the unknown, will continue to unfold. Each solution and each victory unfolds into a new level of wisdom. So even though there was a fence and a pasture and a fence and a pasture, it wasn't like each one held its own content. Almost like if you're like kindergarten to first grade to second grade. So each pasture, each fence, each jump that we take into the mystery rewards us with these nuggets of wisdom. So know that we are continuing to grow and to learn and to be more knowledgeable each step that we take. And another thing, the mystery, the language of the mystic must know that we must embrace the self. We are confident in our endeavors with each step. So we talk about each step, and each step will give us the confidence to move to the next level. So we must say yes. We must say yes. We have some free will here. So know that if we are buttoned up against life again, that we probably said yes, and we embrace this, the learning through both the dark and the light. So stay confident. Stay confident and know that you are right where you're supposed to be, and there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, sometimes we might need to put a Band-Aid on, or see a Reiki master, or have a massage, or take a vacation. But know that there is nothing internally wrong with you. So anything that's maybe created in an outside sense is something that you've either agreed to through your higher self, through this incarnation, or something that you've self-created. So there's options there. So just know that you're not to blame and that you are perfect the way you are. So just keep waking up and removing any disillusion to that something is wrong with you. This is just a death, birth, recycle. So it can clear anything. So just wake up and be present for your birth. Birth. Everything is a beginning and an end, beginning and end. And in this world of dualism. So we're just shedding the old and waking to the new. This new world before us is we are the evolutionary warriors of this new world before us. So take on the battles and struggles. Don't repress anything that bumps up against you. The struggle is like you're in the birth canal, or like you're the butterfly in the chrysalis that needs the struggle to birth with wings. So know you need these struggles, these obstacles that you're butting up against. Nothing is all light and love in this world. So take it on. Take on the mystery. Take on the unknown. And that's like living like the caterpillar, you know. It just keeps chewing up life, moving, not knowing with any kind of certainty of the new world that lies before him, the birth that will provide wings to fly. So keep chewing up life. Don't repress it. Don't move away from it. Move into it. It's the journey of love. Know that the mystic lives in symbolic messages. So begin to know symbols are the language of the mystic. Look at your life as meaningful, and with each experience teaching you. So know each experience is teaching you. So maybe even sometimes like looking at yourself, what did that just teach me? And understand the wisdom that's flowing from you, and share it. Maybe it's to be shared in some kind of artistic form, or some kind by living by example, or creating some kind of new something. Whatever your creativity lies, know that this is important to begin to use your experiences as profound learning experiences, bringing that wisdom into our reality. So this is a higher reality when we can begin to recognize and own those experiences as lessons and turning them into wisdom. A higher reality. Yeah, that's you, the mystic. So process is a tool to uncover. So we talk a lot, we say process. Well, it's just asking the questions of yourself. Like what did I learn from that? Is this pattern happening to me over and over and over? And when you begin to ask those questions, the higher self loves it. It comes in and it's so helpful. Symbols show up, guides show up. Sometimes it can feel really lonely and a little bit dark when we're uncovering. But we want to continue to bring the shadow into the light of any old patterns, keeping us from this higher destiny, keeping us from our higher self. So know the language of the mystic belongs to processing over and over and over again. But each time we're lifted to another place. I know I talked a little bit about like the fence and the pasture, but also I always like to see everything like a spiral. So even if you run into, I shared a little bit about a near-death experience and my rejection and not feeling lovable. Well, we can recreate that. But each time that we come back up against it, we might learn something new about it that shows a pattern in ourselves that's not living in our highest reality. And so what we can do is we don't see it as going backwards ever. We see it as a spiraling. So we spiral and spiral up, and then we might run into it again. And sometimes that one experience I shared about a near-death experience, it could be lifetimes of lessons, and maybe even other lifetimes. So just know that you can say, oh, here it is again. I thought I healed that and cleared that. No, dive into it again. It's got something else to show you. And recognize it for what it is and let the wisdom come through. So we live in the world of symbolism. Sacrednicities are huge communication. There are no coincidences. The synchronicities tell us that we're directly communicating with direct lines of the higher beings, the higher frequencies, our higher self. Know that dreams are messages that are in our night world of our higher self and other realms, that know that it's easy for other people to come in, like angels or people from the other side, to come in through our dreams and teach. Any archetypes can come in through our dreams. Meditation is a great tool for the language of the mystic. Meditation opens our neural pathways through consciousness, and it delivers us experiences of dimensional realities. Yeah, we are expanding our unconscious mind into a world full of consciousness, becoming a cosmic influence in the human and divine. So know that meditation is really important to nurturing the language of the mystic. We are the masters of our own creation. So go out and create, mystics. Be courageous. Welcome the language of the mystic. Let it unfold into the mystery. Success is not defined through mystical experience or psychic influence. Intuitive patterns Oh, it is. I said it is defined by, oh, let's say that again. The mystery and success is defined through the mystical experiences, psychic influence, intuitive patterns, synchronicities, visions, dreams, entrances of archetypes, symbols, everything that you can think of is happening in the mystery. So know that the mystics are deeply connected to this. The depth of wisdom is entering through your inner terrain. So know that it's coming through that inner terrain. And the other thing that I really, before I go, this is kind of a long talk. I think I could talk forever about the language of the mystic. So just know that it's not limited to other things or other patterns that you might have come through during this time. But the one thing that I have a vision, I've had visions of, and an understanding I've had experiences of, is telepathic communication. So as a mystic, if you're not receiving telepathic communication, I want you to practice today. I feel like this will be the part of the human evolutionary shift, because we will be able to read each other telepathically. And if we can read each other telepathically, we have no resistance to truth. We will have to be in our truth. So to practice telepathic communication, so I want you to start practicing it now, because it can feel kind of scary if you think everyone can read your mind. And I don't know that it'll be so simple that we can read each other's mind, because we're already, I know as an intuitive, a Reiki master, and a yoga teacher, I already intuitively read emotional bodies. Sometimes I have access to physical ailments, and sometimes I have access to future events. So, telepathic communication, practice now. It's going to be simple. You're going to practice messages through the heart. So you're going to practice sending messages through love and an open heart. So all that means is opening your heart, find your message. And I like to see it like a flashlight or a tunnel, because a flashlight the light can be widened or narrowed. And I send that message, and sometimes I just send love. But if you have a message, you can always send it on that frequency of love. So start to practice that, and you'll be, I'm always like astounded by the miracles that happen. So it gives us an active response to maybe people that we are out of communication with, or